didn't mean to remember. That's the strange part. For most of my life, the town I grew up in felt like a dream that faded the moment I woke up. The kind of dream you know mattered, but the details slip through your fingers no matter how hard you try to hold on to them. But a week ago, my father died, and ever since then, it's like something inside my head unlocked. Not gently, not naturally. It forced itself open. Memories I didn't even know I still had started coming back all at once. Sharp, clear, and wrong in ways I can't fully explain. I'm writing this because I don't think they're just memories. I think something from that town is trying to make sure I remember. And if that's true, then there's a chance it's trying to find me too. I grew up in a place called Raven Hollow. At least, that's what we called it. I don't know if you'd find it on a map. I don't even know what state it was in. If you asked my parents today, they'd probably tell you it never existed. And they'd mean it. Because after we left, they erased it. Completely. No photos, no documents, no conversations. Nothing. Like it was something dangerous just to acknowledge. I lived there for the first 10 years of my life. Just long enough for everything to feel normal. And that's the worst part. Because back then, it was normal. Raven Hollow was surrounded by forest. Not the kind you hike through on weekends. I mean dense, suffocating woods that pressed in on the town from every direction, like they were trying to reclaim it. No highways, no signs pointing in or out. Just one narrow road that somehow always led you back if you tried to leave. Every building had the same name: Raven Hollow Market, Raven Hollow School, Raven Hollow Clinic. Even as a kid, I remember asking my mother why everything had the same name. She didn't answer. She just told me not to ask questions like that again. There were rules in that town, not written down anywhere. No one explained them. You just knew. Or you learned the hard way. One of the first rules I remember involved birthdays. Every single year, on the morning of your birthday, you were taken to the clinic. No exceptions. It didn't matter if you were sick, scared, or crying. You went. They would take your blood. More than seemed necessary. I remember sitting in a cold, white room, watching the vial fill up, feeling like they weren't just taking blood, but something else too. No one ever explained what they were testing for. No one ever asked. And no one ever missed their appointment. There was also the bakery, owned by a man named Calder Voss. He always knew what you were going to order before you said a word. As a kid, I thought it was a trick, something harmless. But it wasn't just the order. Sometimes he'd look at you, really look at you, and say things that didn't make sense until days later. Once when I was 8, he handed me a wrapped pastry and said, "You should stay inside this month." I laughed. I thought he was joking. He didn't laugh back. But none of that was the worst rule. Not even close. The worst rule was about the procession. It didn't have a fixed date, no schedule, no warning. It just happened. Once a month. And when it did, everything changed. You always knew when it was about to begin. Not because you could see it, but because you could hear it. A sound that didn't belong to anything real. It wasn't music, not exactly. More like voices layered over each other, rising and falling in a pattern that felt almost familiar, like something you should recognize, but couldn't. The moment that sound started, you had exactly 5 minutes. 5 minutes to get inside. 5 minutes to find a place with a locked door. Because here's the rule that mattered more than anything else. You were never allowed to look at the procession. Not from the street. Not from a window. Not even by accident. If you heard it, you hid. No questions. The strange part, most buildings in Raven Hollow didn't have locks. I didn't question that as a kid. It was just how things were. But when the procession started, only a few places were safe. The school, the old bar near the edge of town, and a storage room behind the grocery store. If you were too far from one of those places when the sound began, you ran, or you prayed. I followed the rules, at least most of the time. But when you're a kid, being told not to do something doesn't make you safe. It makes you curious. And curiosity in Raven Hollow wasn't just dangerous. It was permanent. I had a friend named Marlon Pike. He was older than me by a couple years. Taller, louder. The kind of kid who didn't scare easy, which made him dangerous to be around. Because he didn't believe in the rules. He thought they were stories adults made up to control us. And one summer, he decided to prove it. "I'm gonna see it," he told me. We were sitting behind the school, throwing rocks into the dirt, pretending it was normal to talk about something no one else even mentioned. "The procession," he said. "I'm gonna watch it." I remember feeling this cold, sinking weight in my stomach. "You can't," I told him. "Watch me." He smiled when he said it. That's what I remember the most. Not fear, not hesitation, just excitement. We didn't know when it would happen. No one ever did. So for weeks we stayed close to the center of town after school, waiting, listening, trying to act normal while we were really just waiting for that sound. Then one afternoon, it started. That same layered chorus filled the air, soft at first, then louder, like it was coming from everywhere at once. Marlon looked at me, I looked at him, and without saying a word, we ran. Not toward safety, toward the trees. There was a narrow patch of forest behind the library, where the ground dipped low enough to hide you from the road, but still close enough to see it, if anything passed by. We dropped into the brush, crouching low, barely breathing. The sound grew louder, closer. Something about it made my chest feel tight, like my body was trying to warn me to stop, to leave, to go back. But I didn't. Marlon leaned forward slightly. "I think I see it," he whispered. I couldn't. Not yet. Just shadows moving between the trees. Shapes that didn't look right. Not human. Not fully. Then Marlon suddenly grabbed my arm, hard. Too hard. "Don't," he said. His voice wasn't excited anymore. It wasn't even scared. It was broken. Like something inside him had snapped all at once. "What?" I whispered. He didn't answer. He just pulled me down, forcing my head toward the ground. "Don't look at it," he said again, quieter this time. They're not walking." I didn't listen. I wish I had. I really do. But I turned my head just enough to see something that shouldn't exist. I didn't understand what I was looking at. Not completely. But I knew one thing instantly. Those weren't people. And whatever they were carrying, it used to be. I shut my eyes. Too late. The sound got louder, closer. And then, it changed. It wasn't just the chorus anymore. Now it sounded like voices calling out. Not random, not distant. Specific. Calling names. I heard mine. Clear as day. Right next to my ear. "Stay still," Marlon whispered. But his grip on my arm was shaking. Violently. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just waited for it to pass. For the sound to fade. For everything to go back to normal. Eventually, it did. But when I opened my eyes again, Marlon wasn't looking at me anymore. He was staring straight ahead, at nothing. And when he finally spoke, his voice wasn't his own. "They saw you." That was the last normal day of my life in Raven Hollow. We left the very next morning. No explanation, no warning. Just packed everything and drove away. And my parents never spoke about it again. But now, after all these years, after my father's death, after the memories started coming back, I can't stop thinking about what Marlon said. Because last night, for the first time since we left, I heard it again. That same distant chorus. And this time, it didn't sound far away. I didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. I just lay there in my apartment in Phoenix, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince myself that what I heard wasn't real, that it was just stress, grief, my brain trying to process my father's death in the worst way possible. But deep down, I knew better, because the sound I heard wasn't something you imagine. It was something you recognize. That same distant chorus, layered voices, soft, then rising, like something gathering strength. I hadn't heard it in over 15 years, and somehow that made it worse, because it meant one thing I wasn't ready to accept. Raven Hollow hadn't forgotten me. The next morning, my mother still hadn't said a word. Not about my father, not about the funeral, not about anything. She just sat at the kitchen table, staring at a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. I stood there for a while, waiting, hoping she'd say something first. Anything. "Did you hear it?" I finally asked. Her hand froze midair, just for a second, but I saw it. "Hear what?" she said, without looking at me. Her voice was calm, too calm. "That sound," I said. "Last night." Silence stretched between us, heavy, uncomfortable. Then she slowly looked up, and for the first time since my father died, I saw fear in her eyes. "You need to stop," she said quietly. "Stop what?" "Thinking about that place." My chest tightened. "You heard it too." It wasn't a question. She stood up so fast the chair scraped loudly against the floor. I said stop. That was it. No explanation. No denial. Just fear. And anger wrapped together. That's when I knew. This wasn't just in my head. I didn't bring it up again. Not that day. Not out loud. But once the idea takes hold, it doesn't let go. It grows. Quietly, patiently. By the third night I heard it again. Louder this time. Closer. And something else. Something I didn't hear the first time. A voice. Not part of the chorus. Separate. Clear. It said my name. I didn't wait for the fourth night. The next morning, I made a decision that I should have made years ago. I went looking for Raven Hollow. I started with the obvious. Maps, old records, archives, anything that could prove the town existed. Nothing. It was like trying to find a place that had never been real. No birth records, no property listings, no mention of it anywhere. Even the name felt wrong now, like it didn't belong to anything official. But I knew it existed. I remembered too much. So I did the only thing left. I went back to the one person who might actually tell me the truth. My sister, Ilara. We hadn't talked in years. Not properly. Not since that day. Back in Raven Hollow, when everything changed. She lived 2 hours away, in a quiet neighborhood that looked painfully normal. The kind of place where nothing bad was supposed to happen. Where things like Raven Hollow didn't belong. She opened the door before I could knock, like she already knew I was there. For a moment, we just stared at each other, trying to measure how much of the past still existed between us. "You heard it," she said. Not a question. I nodded. She stepped aside without another word. "Come in." Her house was clean. Too clean. Minimal furniture. No decorations. No pictures. Like she was afraid of leaving any trace behind. We sat across from each other in silence for a while, neither of us sure where to start. Finally, I said it. "I remember everything." She didn't react right away. just stared at the floor. Then, "Yeah," she said softly. "It does that." "What does?" "It comes back," she replied. "The memories." A cold feeling settled in my chest. "This has happened before?" She let out a dry laugh. "You think you're the first one?" That answer hit harder than I expected. "What do you mean?" She looked up at me, and for a second, I saw the same fear I saw in our mother. "People who leave Raven Hollow don't just forget," she said. "They're made to forget." A pause. Then, "And sometimes, it stops working." The room felt smaller, heavier. "Why now?" I asked. "Why are we remembering now?" Her jaw tightened. "Because something's wrong." That word again. Wrong. "With the town?" She shook her head slowly. "No." Her eyes locked onto mine. "With whatever controls it." She told me things I didn't want to hear. Things that made my memories feel incomplete. Like I'd only seen the surface of something much bigger. "The procession isn't the worst part," she said. My stomach dropped. "It's just maintenance." "Maintenance?" I repeated. She nodded. "Like it's cleaning something. Fixing something." "Fixing what?" She didn't answer right away. "People," she said finally. That word didn't sit right. Not the way she said it. "Do you remember Marlon?" I asked. Her expression changed instantly. Tighter. Colder. I try not to. "What happened to him?" Silence. Long. Heavy. Then she leaned forward slightly. "He didn't leave," she said. A chill ran down my spine. "What do you mean?" "I mean," she said slowly, "he never left Raven Hollow." "That's not possible," I said. "We left the next day." "You left," she cut in. The room went quiet. "I saw him," she continued, "after you were gone." My heart started pounding. "When?" Her voice dropped. "A month later." I didn't like where this was going. "He was walking down the street," she said, "right in the middle of town." "That's not. He should have been." "Gone?" she finished. I didn't answer, because I didn't know what to say. "He wasn't the same," she said. "Of course he wasn't." "What was different?" She hesitated, and that hesitation told me everything. "His face," she said quietly. My stomach turned. "He was smiling." That didn't sound wrong at first, not until she added, "Too wide." I felt something shift inside me, like a piece of the puzzle sliding into place, but revealing something worse instead of clarity. "They change people," I said. She didn't respond, but she didn't deny it either. We sat there for a long time after that, just letting everything settle, until I asked the question I'd been avoiding. "Can we go back?" She laughed, not because it was funny, because it wasn't. "You don't go back," she said. "But people do, right?" I pressed. "You said I'm not the first one to remember." She nodded slowly. "And?" Her eyes darkened. "They don't come back." That should have been enough. That should have stopped me. But it didn't, because something inside me had already made the decision. "I have to know," I said. She studied me for a long moment, like she was trying to decide if I was already too far gone. Then she stood up, walked to a drawer, and pulled something out, a folded piece of paper. Old. Worn. She handed it to me. "What is this?" I asked. "A map," she said. I froze. "There are no maps of Raven Hollow." She gave a faint, humorless smile. "There aren't supposed to be." I unfolded it carefully. It wasn't detailed, just a rough sketch. Trees, a road, a few markings. But at the top, written in faded ink, were two words: Raven Hollow. "You kept this?" I asked. "I shouldn't have," she replied. "Why did you?" She didn't answer. She didn't need to. As I looked down at the map, That same feeling crept back into my chest. The same one I felt as a kid, hiding in those trees. Like something was watching, waiting. And then, very faintly, from somewhere far away, I heard it again. That chorus. But this time, it wasn't distant. It was getting closer. I should have burned the map. That would have been the smart thing to do. Tear it up. Throw it away. Pretend I never saw it. Pretend Raven Hollow stayed buried where it belonged. But the problem with places like that is they don't stay buried. I left Ilara's house before sunrise, not because I was in a rush, but because something inside me felt like if I waited any longer, I wouldn't go at all. And I had to go. That thought wasn't rational. It didn't feel like a choice. It felt planted. The map sat folded on the passenger seat beside me. I didn't need GPS, didn't need directions, because the moment I got on the highway, I already knew which way to go. That's when I realized something was wrong. I hadn't been to Raven Hollow in over 15 years. There was no reason I should remember the way. No landmarks, no signs, nothing that should guide me back. And yet, every turn felt familiar. Too familiar. The further I drove, the less traffic I saw. The city faded into empty stretches of road, then into long highways with no exits, then into something even worse. Roads that didn't feel like they belonged anywhere. At some point, I checked my phone. No signal, no service, just a blank screen where everything used to be. I told myself it was normal. Remote areas, dead zones. There was always an explanation. Until the road changed. It narrowed without warning. The asphalt cracked and faded, like it hadn't been maintained in decades. The trees started closing in on both sides. Tall, dense, blocking out the sky. And then, I saw it. A sign. Old. Rusted. Barely hanging onto its post, I slowed the car as I passed it, just enough to read what was left. Welcome to Raven Hollow population. The number had been scratched out. Not faded. Not worn. Removed. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. My chest felt tight again. That same feeling from years ago. Like I wasn't supposed to be here. But I didn't turn around. Because something deeper than fear was pulling me forward. The town looked smaller than I remembered. Or maybe I just saw it differently now. The buildings were the same. Same layout, same names. Raven Hollow Market, Raven Hollow School, Raven Hollow Clinic. Nothing had changed. That was the problem. It should have changed. Time should have left marks. Decay, growth, something. But it looked preserved, like it had been waiting for me. I parked near the center of town, stepped out of the car slowly, and immediately felt it. That silence. Not normal quiet. Not peaceful. This was something else. Like the entire town was holding its breath. Watching. I started walking. Not toward anything specific. Just moving. Half expecting someone to stop me. To ask what I was doing there. To tell me to leave. But no one did. People were there. I could see them. Standing near buildings. Walking slowly down the street. But something about them felt off. They didn't react to me. Didn't acknowledge me. Didn't even glance in my direction. It was like I wasn't there. Or worse, like they already knew I was. I made my way toward the bakery. I don't know why. Maybe because it was one of the few places I remembered clearly. The sign still hung above the door. Slightly crooked. Raven Hollow Bakery. I hesitated before going in. Something about that place always made me uneasy, even as a kid. But I pushed the door open anyway. The bell above it rang softly. And just like that, everything changed. The inside looked exactly the same. Same counter, same display cases, same smell. But the man behind the counter wasn't Calder Voss. Not exactly. He looked like him. Same build, same posture, but older, much older. And his eyes, they didn't look human anymore. They looked aware, in a way that made my skin crawl. "I was wondering when you'd come back," he said. My blood ran cold. "I didn't tell anyone I was coming," I replied. He smiled. "You didn't have to." I stepped closer to the counter, every instinct in my body telling me to leave. But I didn't. "I need answers," I said. His smile widened slightly. "No," he said. "You need to understand." That response didn't make sense. "What's happening here?" I asked. "What is this place?" He tilted his head slightly, studying me. "You already know," he said. "I don't." "You saw the procession." That word again. I felt my throat tighten. "I saw something," I said carefully. He leaned forward slightly. "And it saw you." The air in the room felt heavier. "What happens to the people who see it?" I asked. His expression didn't change. "They become part of it." That answer hit harder than I expected. "Marlon," I said quietly. For the first time, the man's smile faded. "Names don't matter here," he said. "They do to me." He studied me again. Longer this time. Then he said something that made everything worse. "He's still here." I felt my heart drop. "Where?" He didn't answer. Instead, he looked past me, toward the window. And that's when I heard it. The chorus, closer than ever. My body reacted before my mind could. My chest tightened. My hand started shaking. "No," I whispered. The man behind the counter didn't move, didn't react. "You came at the wrong time," he said calmly. Panic started building in my chest. "I need to get inside," I said. His eyes locked onto mine. "You already are." That didn't make sense. "I mean somewhere safe," I snapped. He didn't respond. And then, the sound got louder. Not just outside, inside. Like it was coming from the walls, the floor, the air itself. And then something worse happened. The people outside stopped moving, all at once, every single one of them. And slowly, they turned, toward the bakery, toward me. My breathing became uneven, shallow. "They know," I said. The man didn't deny it. "Where do I go?" I asked. No answer. "Tell me." He leaned in slightly, his voice quieter now. "There's nowhere left to hide." The door behind me creaked open, slowly. I didn't turn around. I didn't want to, because I already knew what was there. The sound changed again, not just voices anymore. Now it was clearer, more focused, calling something, calling me. I shut my eyes, just like I did all those years ago, hoping it would be enough, hoping I could still pretend I didn't see. But then, something brushed past me, cold, too close, and a voice, right beside my ear, whispered, "You looked." My eyes snapped open. Too late. Outside the window, I saw them, not clearly, not fully, but enough. Enough to know that what I saw as a child was only part of it. Because this time, they were looking back. I shouldn't have opened my eyes. That's the truth I keep coming back to. Because the moment I did, everything changed. The glass of the bakery window should have reflected the street outside. Trees, buildings, people. Something normal. Something real. But it didn't. What I saw wasn't a reflection. It was depth. Like the glass wasn't there anymore. Like the world outside had peeled back, revealing something underneath it. Something older. Something that had been there the entire time. The figures I'd glimpsed as a child. They weren't just passing through the town. They were the town. Layered over it. Inside it. Wearing it like a mask. And now, they were aware of me. Not in a distant, abstract way, not like something observing from far away. No, this was direct, focused, intentional, like I had just stepped into the center of something that had been waiting for me specifically. "Don't move." The voice came from behind the counter, low, controlled, different from before. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Because outside, those shapes were getting closer. They didn't walk. Not really. They shifted, like frames skipping in a broken video. 1 second distant. The next, closer than they should be. And every time they moved, the world around them warped slightly. Like reality itself didn't fully agree with their presence. "Why are they stopping?" I asked, my voice barely holding together. "They're not stopping," the man said. "They're waiting." That word hit differently. Waiting for what? A pause. For you to understand. Something inside me snapped at that. "I don't want to understand," I said. "I want to leave." Silence. Then, a quiet, almost pitying response. That was never an option. My chest tightened again, that same suffocating pressure. "No," I said. "People leave. I left." "Did you?" he asked. I turned slightly then, just enough to see him from the corner of my eye. His expression had changed. Not hostile, not aggressive, just certain. "You didn't leave Raven Hollow," he said. "You were released." That word echoed in my head. Released. Like I'd been part of something. Like I still was. Outside, the shapes were closer now. Close enough that I could make out more detail. Limbs that bent at the wrong angles. Forms that didn't hold still. Faces. No. Not faces. Attempts at faces. Like something trying to imitate what a human looks like. And almost getting it right. My breathing became uneven again. "What do they want from me?" I asked. The man didn't hesitate this time. "They want you back." A sharp, hollow feeling opened in my chest. "I was a kid," I said. "I didn't do anything." "You saw them. That's it?" "That's enough." I shook my head. "No, that doesn't make sense." "Why me? Why now?" He studied me for a long moment, then finally said, "Because something is breaking." The air in the bakery felt colder. "What does that mean?" He glanced toward the window, toward the things outside. "The system isn't holding the way it used to," he said. "The boundaries are weakening." That word again. Boundaries. Like there was a line between two things, and it was starting to blur. "The procession," I said slowly. "That's part of it, isn't it?" He nodded. "It keeps things in place," he said. "Corrects what doesn't belong." A realization hit me then. Sudden. Sharp. "Marlin," I said. He didn't respond. "They corrected him," I continued. Still nothing. "But they didn't finish it," I said. Now he looked at me. "Why do you think that?" he asked. My throat felt dry. "Because he remembered me," I said. After all that time, he still knew who I was. The man behind the counter didn't answer right away, but I saw it. That flicker in his expression, like I'd said something I wasn't supposed to figure out. "They don't erase everything," I said quietly. "They just change it." "That's not your concern anymore," he replied. "It is if they're trying to do it to me." Silence. Then, "They already have." The words didn't make sense at first. "What?" He stepped back slightly, like he was putting distance between us. "Think carefully," he said. And suddenly, something shifted. Not around me, inside me. Memories. Not returning. Rearranging. I saw flashes. Not just the forest. Not just the procession. More. Things I didn't remember before. Or maybe, things I wasn't allowed to remember until now. A room. White. Cold. The clinic. But not like I remembered it. Bigger. Deeper. And people, not doctors. Watching. I stumbled slightly, grabbing the edge of the counter. "What did you do to us?" I whispered. The man didn't answer. Because he didn't need to. I already knew. The blood tests. They weren't checking for something. They were taking something. Measuring it. Tracking it. Preparing us. For what? I asked, barely able to keep my voice steady. This time, he answered. For integration. The word felt wrong, heavy, outside. The shapes had reached the building. They weren't trying to get in. They didn't need to. Because the door behind me was already open. Slowly, I turned, and standing there, blocking the exit, was someone I recognized, not from recently, not from adulthood, from childhood. "Marlon," I whispered. He looked exactly the same. Same height, same clothes, same face, except something about him felt unfinished, like he hadn't aged, because he wasn't meant to. "You took your time," he said. His voice sounded normal, too normal. "I thought you were—" I stopped. He tilted his head slightly. "Gone?" he finished. I didn't answer. "They told me you'd come back," he said. My chest tightened again. "Who told you?" He smiled. Not wide, not unnatural, just enough. "You already know." I didn't want to, but I did. The same thing that controlled the town. The same thing behind the procession. The same thing behind everything. "They've been waiting," Marlon continued, "for you to stop running." "I'm not running," I said. Even as I said it, I knew it wasn't true. "You left," he said, "but you didn't get away." The air around us felt heavier now, denser, like something was closing in. "You can't leave twice," he added. That sentence landed harder than anything else, because deep down, I understood exactly what it meant. The first time was never permanent. This time would be. I took a step back, then another. But there was nowhere to go. Behind me, the things outside, in front of me, what used to be my friend, and somewhere in between, whatever Raven Hollow really was. "I won't stay," I said. Marlon didn't move, didn't react. "You already are." The last thing I remember was the sound, that chorus, not distant anymore, not surrounding me, inside me. And then, everything went quiet. I woke up in my apartment, on the floor, morning light coming through the window. For a second, I thought it was over, that it had all been a dream, until I saw it. On the table, the map, still there, and next to it, something that wasn't there before. A small glass vial, filled halfway, with dark red liquid. My blood. And written on the side, in careful, precise handwriting, were 3 words. "Welcome back home." If you made it to the end, then you already know. Some places don't let you go. Comment below. Where are you watching from? And what time is it right now? And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Because the next story might be even closer to you.